Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Dallas County Board of Commissioners voting session. Today is April 3rd, 2025. Appreciate everybody that's with us in attendance, as well as those that are with us online. We will start out with a roll call. Let the record show that Commissioner Stowers, Commissioner Turkett, and Chairman Thurman are present. Commissioners Gaines and Commissioner Bruce aren't able to be with us this afternoon. We have an opening presentation today, Lake Lanier Association update. Lake Lanier Association Executive Director, Victoria Clevenger. Victoria, come on up. And she brought some backup if she needs it. Weak backup, he says. Thank you. I try.
Good evening. As the introduction said, I'm Victoria Clevenger, and I'm the Executive Director of the Lake Lanier Association. And the intention behind my presentation is just to show you some of the things that we have going on around Lake Lanier, and specifically the things that are benefiting the Dawson County community. So I'm going to dive right in and showcase some of the things that we are doing. But I first want to make sure you guys are familiar with who we are. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We have been around since 1966. So next year is our 60th anniversary. And we originally started as a homeowners association. So you can think back to when the lake was first established and the people that had property around the lake and the things that were of concern and needs to those individuals, and to how vastly different it is to the individuals that benefit, utilize, and surround the lake today. That's where LLA comes in. Our mission is fully to ensure that Lake Lanier is preserved and protected for generations to come, and that is established through the pillars of our mission, which is to provide a clean, full, and safe Lake Lanier, and we do that together with the support of our donors, volunteers, and the community at large. I'm sure you are well familiar with the benefits of Lake Lanier to our community. Of course, there are hundreds of miles of shoreline and over several million that receive drinking water from Lake Lanier. This slide is just to kind of give you an at-a-glance look at the impact, and I will talk about that in greater detail as far as the impact to the nation of Lake Lanier and LLA's work specifically. I did also want to highlight some of the elements regarding Lake Lanier in Dawson County. So you'll see here a breakdown of some areas and how Lake Lanier benefits this portion of the community specifically. It is influencing about 22% of your tax base from a home property value perspective. And when you think about the amount of visitors and those that come to utilize the lake, specifically areas like War Hill Park, that is receiving thousands and thousands, about 60,000 visitors just at that one park. And then the businesses and the economic impact of those visitors, there's a sample of businesses that they frequent. We're all familiar with getting a pub sub before we go to the lake. That's obviously a business right here in Dawson County that is significantly benefited by those that visit Lake Lanier. Before I press play, I do have a 4-minute video that I want to share with you guys that has it's a beautiful imagery of the work of the Lake Lanier Association, and then I will dive into some of these programs. I'm not going to talk about every single one of them, but I would like to spend a little bit of time talking about the ones that are taking place here in Dawson County. So you'll see some mentioned in this video that are programming that the Lake Lanier Association is responsible for, and then I'm going to highlight just a few. And I believe I may need you to press like your space bar. If I hit next, it will pass the video. Yeah. Thank you. Lake Lanier Association has the privilege of protecting one of Georgia's most valuable freshwater resources. As a nonprofit organization, our initiatives for a clean, full, and safe lake preserve the cleanliness and beauty of the lake for our community and the 12 million people who visit each year.
Lake Lanier impacts its local economies through its tourism, as well as recruiting new businesses to the region and supporting a vibrant real estate market.
This has always been a very popular lake, one of the most highly visited lakes in the country. You know, that usage comes with a lot of people doing the right thing and a lot of people, not necessarily being good stewards of the lake. We want this to be a lake for everyone, and, but we realize that there's a lot of responsibility in kind of coming behind and making sure that the lake stays, in, kind of shape that we would all be proud of.
Something that people probably don't realize is Lake Lanier is in fact a basin for our drinking water, which makes the work of the Lake Lanier Association really vital to everybody, whether they boat or play on the lake or not, everybody drinks the water. On top of that, when you think about those that do use it recreationally, the safety of those individuals is critical. So knowing that there's loaner stations available to people to grab a life jacket when you're around Lake Lanier is going to be a life-saving opportunity to have that right there for you.
Shore Sweep is responsible for removing about 80 tons of trash a year. If you look at the number alone, that's like 3 747s, and we have 1,600 volunteers picking up that trash and moving it to sites, having it put into dumpsters. Cleanups are critical to the environment, critical to the health of Lake Lanier, and to all the people that love it and use it.
You just show up ready to work, and that could be putting on gloves and boots and picking up garbage on the shoreline, or you could be bringing food to feed the team. There's a lot of different things can happen, but you know that everyone is just pitching in to help out Lake Lanier.
Water testing program is a really important key piece. We're able to test the water every month, and we have 27 sites all the way from Dawsonville to Gwinnett, where we capture algae and we look at chlorophyll, and we can see temperature and clarity, all sorts of things to help us gauge how safe and clean the lake is, which we know is really important since the lake is used every day, all year long.
The increased recreational use on the lake, especially in the form of boat traffic, it really causes a lot of erosion. So we've helped facilitate the installation of 2 miles and counting of riprap, and we want to, to the extent we can, do our part to protect the shoreline.
Lake Lanier Association responded to member requests for safer boating at night, and with that, they installed 289 of the solar lights on hazardous markers, and they currently maintain and monitor those on a regular basis.
The Lake Lanier Association is passionate about Lake Lanier. We have a small team of staff and a board of directors that guide our programming and help us determine where is best to spend our time. But we need volunteers. We need the support of our community to help make these things reality. So without the community support, our work is not possible at all.
I think all of us would be really happy if we didn't have to do shore sweep at all. And the lake was so clean that our volunteers didn't have anything to do. That's what we're fighting for, and that's what we're working for every day.
Through the support of our partners and the dedication of our 4,000 plus members and volunteers, the Lake Lanier Association will continue to meet the challenges facing Lake Lanier now and in the future. When you give of your time and resources, you are investing in the overall well-being of our community by preserving a clean, full, and safe Lake Lanier. Thank you for letting me show you guys that video. I think it encompasses the work of the Lake Lanier Association far better than how I could describe it to you today. But I did want to spend some time talking about some of the programs that the Lake Lanier Association does. Some that are really vital to the Dawsonville community. For instance, Shore Sweep, you are familiar with that taking place. And I mentioned War Hill Park, that is one of our site locations. And we actually get the support of Dawson County, I believe Parks and Rec, as well as public work employees. They come with a eager spirit, they roll up their sleeves and they help, and they have the best attitude. I have visited that site in multiple years, and they are always a pleasure to be around on that day. So I do want to say a thank you to Dawson County and those individuals that participate in Shore Sweep in that way. There was also some imagery of War Hill Park in the Shore Sweep effort in that video, so I hope that looked like a familiar scene to some of you. Abandoned docks and derelict vessels is also a program that we do, which is where we can get involved when there is a safety or hazard element to those vessels and those docks. Primarily, we do try to hold a responsible party liable, but there's not always somebody to hold responsible. So we do work in partnership with the Corps of Engineers and the Department of Natural Resources to remove those safety hazards from the lake, especially if there's an element of, oil and gas and things still within those vessels. That's of course a concern. We also have a See Something, Say Something program where people can report issues. So that's a lot of times how we find out about those abandoned docks or derelict vessels. And it also alerts us to things like a hazard marker being down, or maybe there's an area where they've noticed a lot of swimmers and it's a potential opportunity for a life check at Loner Station. So that's just open to the public to provide us feedback and be the eyes and ears around the lake. As you heard in the video, we have a 3-person staff and our board of directors is all volunteers. So we cannot be all over our 700-mile shoreline at all times. So we really rely on the community to help us with that. Furthermore, we do also have a solar light program, which I'm going to speak on that one in a little bit more detail, so I'm going to skip that for now. We also do monthly water quality testing, which you heard about in the video. We call that our Adopt a Lake program, and there are sites into Dawsonville County and Dawsonville as a city as well. And we do monitor erosion and sedimentation as a part of that. So if there's an area where we see additional nutrients or things in the lake, maybe from a construction site, the LLA is able to get involved and work closely with county officials or with those that may be working the construction site. We do on our board have somebody with an engineering background that can talk the talk and make phone calls and talk about silt fences and help ensure that those sites are properly managed to protect Lake Lanier. I'm going to continue to skip through some of these just so I can spend a little bit more time on the programs that I really want to focus on with you guys tonight. And one of those programs is RIPRAP. We have started something called Project Armor just last year, and that is our initiative to install another mile of shoreline protection. We have historically done 2 miles of shoreline protection through the installation of RIPRAP, so this would bring our total to 3 miles. That's why you see the 2 miles and counting. We are already making our way through that program, and I can show you some progress pictures in just a moment. I did want to mention that we are being funded and supported by a lot of local counties that are benefiting greatly based on the scale of the project and where this installation is taking place. To be clear, this is not an ask for your support, but I wanted to let you know that this is something that we are doing, and you may see benefit of it here in Dawsonville. So we have identified 16 locations, and we identified these locations through the completion of a shoreline and erosion study, which we completed in 2023. We did use our personal donor funding to accomplish that. We had no support from the community as far as we didn't have like a business that asked us to do it for a low price or anything of that nature. We did it by the book. We used a contractor that the Corps of Engineers trusts, and these were the sites that we identified as the most vulnerable. I'm going to show you just a few that are either completed or in progress or coming soon. So this is one near Margaritaville. So you have a before and after image there showing some of the work that was done. This is also known as Marker 19, if you're familiar with how to navigate the lake and the markers. And this one is currently in progress. I believe it may have just wrapped up earlier this week or should be here in the next few days. The crews have been actively out there. This is Marker 13, and it is near Old Federal, a campground and park in Hall County. And then this one is coming soon. This is over by Port Royale. This is big water, the main channel, so highly trafficked. And even just by the size of that before image, you can tell that this tiny little island would soon be no more if it wasn't for the installation of this RIPRAP that will be arriving soon. We are expecting work to begin in the month of April and conclude in May for that location. Okay, so I skipped over solar lights a little bit when I was doing my run through because I wanted to talk about solar lights in a little bit more detail. You heard in the video how this was actually something that our members requested of us. So the Corps of Engineers is actually responsible for the ATON portion of the marker. That's maybe what's going to tell people if it's a shallow area or how to navigate that area because of rocks or something below the surface. The Lake Lanier Association is able to maintain and monitor the solar light, which is installed on top of that. These are C grade, so they are really the best of the best. And we do monitor this program where we have crews who check the condition of the solar lights every year. They actually go out after dark to ensure that the solar light aspect of it is working properly. And then we are able to monitor based on when it was installed last. Is it still under warranty? Does it need to be replaced, or do we have a refurbished available? So this program Dawson County has supported in the past, and I wanted to show appreciation and showcase some of those solar lights that you can see the actual pinpoint of where they are in your backyard. We do have almost 300 of those all across Lake Lanier. And there's a fun image, the one to your right with the gentleman holding a ladder in very shallow water just kind of shows the difficulty of the monitoring process. He really did take, I think, about a 10-foot tall ladder out to that portion of the water that is shallow, sandy, rocky on the bottom, stick a ladder in it, climb up, and maintenance that solar light for us. So it is by no means a dull task. I did mention Shore Sweep, and I wanted to speak on that again. The Dawson County community has always been so supportive. In your images here, you might recognize some of your Parks and Rec or Public Works employees, as well as some of your Rotary friends. So they are all active participants in that event, and we are so pleased to have their support year over year. War Hill is kind of a party location. If you've never been before, it is a lot of fun. They're out there making hot dogs and sandwiches, and I do encourage and invite all of you to be a participant in that if you've never done it before. This past Shore Sweep event did remove over 80 tons of trash, and we had about 1,200 volunteers all across the lake in participation. So it is a lake-wide cleanup event. And then I did want to also mention something that we recently worked on with Dawson County following Shore Sweep. We have a monthly podcast called Live on Lanier, and we were actually able to come to some Dawson County facilities and do a episode with them where we talked about Shore Sweep specifically with your Keep Dawson County Beautiful team, as well as the Public Works and Parks and Rec as well. So if you were to scan that QR code, it will take you directly to the episode on YouTube. Would love for you to look at that or share it with your friends and neighbors, make sure that they saw it, and you might even see a familiar face in there too. And then, of course, any nonprofit must be mindful of our good standing financials, which I wanted to be transparent about. You can see here our revenue and expenses for 2024. The annual report that I provided to you prior to my presentation does outline financials from 2023. So you've got 2 years there to review and compare if you'd like, or ask questions regarding. And thankfully, I do have Jim here with me this evening, and he is our treasurer. We are, of course, happy to answer any questions. But when it comes to our expenses, you can see that we are primarily using our funding to give back to the community and to support our programming. So that's Shore Sweep, solar lights, life jacket learner stations, all of those things. 70% of our expenses is spent on such. And then when it comes to a revenue perspective, we are highly supported by personal members, business sponsors, and last year was unique because we did receive significant funding for Project Armor. That's what you see that special government project allocation for. And that's it. I'm happy to take questions, but I know I've also taken much of your time, but I appreciate the opportunity to share with you the work of the Lake Lanier Association and hope to continue to bring preservation and protection to Lake Lanier here in Dawson County for years to come.
Questions for Victoria? I do want to make a comment. Y'all do great work, and I know our staff enjoys the Shore Sweep. They look forward to that on an annual basis, and so keep up the good work, and we'll keep helping you.
Thank you. We greatly appreciate the support of Dawson County.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ask everyone to please stand for brief invocation and pledge. Would bow your heads, please. Our dear gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for the many blessings of life. We ask for knowledge and wisdom to carry out the business of this county. Anything that we accomplish will give you the honor and glory in Christ's name. We do ask and pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Are there any announcements on the board? Any announcements? Hearing none, we move on to approval of minutes. First up, we have the minutes of the work session held on March 20th, 2025. Any additions or deletions? Motions.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Turkett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 3-0. Next up, we have the minutes of the voting session held on March 20th, 2025. Any additions or deletions? Motions.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Turkett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. That is approved 3-0. Next up, we have the approval of the agenda. I do have two changes to the agenda, and they are under new business. It'll be numbers 2A and 2B. Letter of support to state concerning Board of Elections related to House Bill 699. A letter of support to state concerning Board of Assessors related to House Bills 823 and 824. Entertain a motion to adopt the agenda with those two changes.
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the two changes.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Turkett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And the agenda has been approved with those two changes, 3-0. No one signed up for public comment in this particular section, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. In the consent agenda, we have the acceptance of the Federal Emergency Management Agency grant award related to Hurricane Helene, which was $37,502.37. The Legacy Link FY 2026 local share commitment letter, which is $16,000. We have board appointments for the tax assessor's office, Kathy Lynn replacing Sam Guthrie, term through December 2025. Brent Covington replacing Jim Perdue, term through December 2026. Mark Sussman replacing Tom Camp, term through December 2027. And then Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities Region 1 Advisory Council, Jill Alexander appointment, term through December 2027. I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Turkett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And the consent agenda is approved 3-0. We move on down to new business. First up, we have consideration of request to amend the county's Greenway and Trail Master Plan that was presented to us last week by our Public Works Director. And basically, it's making a couple of changes to that trail plan. Segment 3 identifies using State Route 400 as connecting point from Dawson Forest Road to Harmony Church Road. Staff is requesting to relocate this segment from State Route 400 to Lumpkin Campground Road. Lumpkin Campground Road will be improved with T-Splosh funds in the coming years. As improvements are being planned, the trail components can be incorporated concurrently. Further, there are GDOT Transportation Alternative TA grants available for projects to pursue pedestrian and bicycle facilities and streetscaping. The other change is Section 4B identifies using Thompson Creek Park as a connector to the lake. Thompson Creek Park Road is on the T-Splosh project list for improvement. Staff is requesting board consideration to improve this road in accordance to the master plan with shared pedestrian bike side path. And they've had discussions with the Development Authority and the Community Development in reference to this. And so Robert has made request of those two changes to the plan. Any other information needed? Motions?
Make a motion that we approve the amendments to the approved Dawson County Greenway and Trail Master Plan and then proceed with segment 4B.
Second.
4B and,
And 3, and 3, segment 3.
let's get back to it. Yeah. Segment 3 and segment 4B. Okay. You got that? Second. All right. Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Turkett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that amendment to the master plan is approved, 3-0. Next up, as I discussed earlier, we have had a request from State Representative Will Wade for letters of support in reference to the Board of Elections, and that's related to House Bill 699. And I'll read the summary in reference to that. It says, "A bill to be entitled an act to amend an act creating a Board of Elections and registration for Dawson County approved April 23rd, 1998, has amended to provide for staggered terms of the board, provide for related matters, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes." Any other information needed? Motions.
Make a motion that we accept the letter of support for House Bill 699 and send to Representative Will Wade.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Turkett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved to send the letter of support. Next up, we have letter of support to state concerning Board of Assessors related House Bills 823 and 824. Read the summary on House Bill 823, a bill to be entitled an act to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from Dawson County ad valorem taxes for county purposes for certain senior citizens, approved April 22nd, 2024, so as to revise the definition of senior citizens, provide that the homestead exemption granted by this act shall be in lieu of and not in addition to any other homestead exemption applicable to Dawson County ad valorem taxes for county purposes, to fix a non-substantive scrivener error, to provide for compliance with constitutional requirements, to provide for a referendum effective dates, automatic repeal, mandatory execution of election, and judicial remedies regarding future, to comply, to provide for related matters, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes. And House Bill 824, it says bill to be entitled an act to close for new applications certain homestead exemptions for senior citizens for Dawson County ad valorem taxes for county purposes and homestead exemptions for senior citizens from Dawson County School District and ad valorem taxes for educational purposes, to provide for a referendum effective dates, automatic repeal, mandatory execution of election, and judicial remedies regarding failure to comply, to provide for related matters, to repeal convicting laws, and for other purposes. So that is to help the tax assessor's office in cleanup of the bill that was passed in 2024. Any other information needed? Motions.
Make a motion that we approve the letter of support for House Bill 823 and 824 and send to Representative Will Wade.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Turkett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that letter of support is approved 3-0, and those will be signed and sent to him tomorrow, which is the last day of the legislative session. All right, so we're down to public comment. We do have 3 people who have signed up for public comment in this section, and I will call them as they signed up. And please give us your name and your address when you come up, and then you will have 3 minutes to speak to the board in reference to whatever you want to talk about. So first, we have Miss Diane Silverberg. So Diane, come on up. Okay. So Miss Cassie Dillon is second on our list, and so you'll have 6 minutes. She's giving you her time. So come on up. If I could, I need you to speak into that microphone so the people listening to us can hear you. Is it on?
Doesn't sound like it.
Robert, can you look at? Robert will help you with it.
It's green now. There it
There
is.
you go.
My name is Cassie Dillon, and I work at Creative Enterprises for the Dawsonville campus. We are currently located at 1550 Harmony Church Road. Just a little bit about Creative Enterprises. We are a 501c3 not-for-profit educational day program for adults with disabilities. We help individuals maximize their potential and explore options that might otherwise be unavailable to persons with developmental disabilities. At Creative, we provide social and life skills training, volunteer opportunities, educational programs, job placement assistance, and community involvement events. At Creative in Dawson, we currently have 44 adults enrolled. I have parents and caregivers for 8 of those adults with me today. Creative is an avenue for these individuals to have a chance to explore the options that I listed earlier and to find and share their purpose with the world, which brings me to my purpose today. Creative Enterprises' current lease will not be renewed, and as of today, we have until June 30th, 2025 to find a new location. As you can imagine, that puts us in a bit of a crunch, and that doesn't even include the steps that we as a company have to take in order to be compliant with all the regulations that it takes for us to run our business. Before Creative opened in Dawson County, most of our individuals were not involved in anything. They were sitting at home and losing the skill sets that they acquired while they were in school. Since Creative has opened, we've grown from 6 clients to 44 in less than 4 years. Maintaining this program is essential not just for the participants, but for the family members and the community as a whole. The services provided are truly transformative, giving individuals a chance to build meaningful connections and develop life skills. In order for programs like ours to be successful, we need the support of our community and local government. I'm asking for assistance so these individuals don't have to lose the program that they and their families rely on.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Dillon and I had a conversation the other day on the phone, and obviously we talked about, the job that they do, and they do an excellent job. I've had the opportunity to visit the Forsyth County campus before I think they even opened up the Dawson County one, but I had an opportunity to do that. And so I gave her some ideas. I hope that maybe where she could find some funding to help them with their cause. They're a great organization. The county currently doesn't have any open facilities that we're not using. But we will try to work with you all we can to help you try to figure out a path forward. So, but I know you're doing a good job. Keep that up and we'll keep looking.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Magistrate Judge Alex Myers. Alex.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I'm Alex Myers. For Mr. Turkett, this is the first time I've been before you as a commissioner. I am the Chief Magistrate Judge here for Dawson County. It is hard to come before the board with the concerns that I'm about to present. However, the concerns have not been alleviated at other levels of this government, and it is time for the board to be aware. Human resources here in the Dawson County government is ineffective and does not work for the employees or for the citizens of Dawson County. There are many delays in communication with the Human Resources Department, including the Director of Human Resources, Christy Finley. Specifically, one really shocking one was one of my clerks who attended the University of Georgia and is eligible for public student loan forgiveness, waited over a year to have her paperwork signed for her student loans to be validated and her employment here to be counted for her public student loan forgiveness. On a personal note, today I received notice from the Magistrate Council's retirement services that my required by state law 3.42% annual due or monthly dues is deficient and in arrears because Ms. Finley has not approved the dispersal of those funds for the second time in the past 4 months. This has gotten to a point where it is hard to effectively run my office, potentially keep my staff, and to justify why I do what I do and why I am the Chief Magistrate Judge. It's unfair to me that I have money sitting that's being withdrawn from my paycheck and sitting in the county's bank account, drawing interest, but not getting any sort of investment value or interest value for myself. And additionally, if it does continue, under state law, any time that you do or you are currently in arrears does not count for your vesting period. And so that does directly impact my ability to actually be vested into the state pension program. This is something that I urge the board to consider and to look into. There are some major changes that need to be made in human resources. It is very disservicing that we just added an additional person to human resources to alleviate some of these issues and these concerns, and yet we're less responsive to our employees. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That's all we have that have signed up for public comment in this section. And with that, we'll be adjourned. Thank you for your attendance.